As a unit, the team sucked, right? We know if you let go of a lead twice in one game and end up losing that game, that's horrible. But how did the players do individually? Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. And in this video, we're doing our player ratings from the game that Kaizer Chiefs lost to Golden Arrows by 3-2. Now, we start with Peterson. I would be like blaming an innocent person if I said it was down to Peterson. If I look at all the goals and think which one could he have done better, probably the third one. But Nakona, the third one, it was like 3 defenders around the striker. So really, what do you expect Peterson to do? Because at the time, he's blocked, division he's blocked, you can't even see. I saw some people saying I could have done better in that goal, but I feel like that's just an unfair assessment on Peterson. So as far as it goes, it's not like he had to make like many amazing saves. So Peterson, I'll just give him, because he did concede 3 goals and maybe could have communicated in the defense better, but still, it's just the defender's fault. I will give him a 6, maybe the highest rating of them all, probably. We move on to Ungezana. Ungezana, he was struggling on the right, and that was down to 2 things. He did not have assistance, and it's like they targeted him. Olunga, they were not afraid of him, because early on in the game, he tried to bully Ulunga, he tried to bully Umodi. He was just trying to show them, listen, I'm here, and you're not going to just do whatever that you want. But eventually, they were like, nope, we're coming for you, and then they attacked him. So because of that, because Iside Luck, there was that cross that led to a goal as well. Not good, it was horrible, but he could have done better, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't have lost by 3-2. I give Ungezana a 4 from yesterday. And then Udube coming back from not playing the longest time. I saw him make good interceptions in the game. Maybe with Umakubela before he cut the ball in, that could be the only thing that you say. Maybe could have closed him down quicker, maybe. But I still think he didn't play bad, guys. Let's not target Udube because it's easy to target him. I think he gets a 5.2, maybe. For me, that's what I think. Next one is Ukwinik. Ukwinika in the first goal, he and then he raises his hand. He's pointing. What are you pointing at? I still don't get it. Even now, I watched the highlights again just to see what actually happened. Wasn't supposed to do that. So because of that, Ukwinika gets a -1. Yeah, I said it. Gets a -1. Because you can't do the same mistake over again. You cannot be a professional defender. Oshehlayo 18, and you are pointing. What are you pointing at? -1. Next is Uhlanti. Uhlanti scores a goal. Uhlanti plays like a brilliant pass forward, and then Gamsuga Kukba Uhlanti. Second goal, he heads. What kind of a header is that? He heads the ball down like to where there's an opponent. That means he's not aware of who is around him. We concede that second goal. The third goal, if he commits a professional foul in that at the time, what ends up happening is that it's simply a foul and we're not conceding a goal. So his actions are directly responsible for us conceding 2 goals. So that means 1 goal cancels one of his goals, and then eventually the 1 goal, there was a difference in the game. So he did have a better game than the other times that he usually plays, but ama mistakes, they're too much for an experienced defender. He gets 4-1, 2, because you could do much better. He gets a 2. Maybe let me just give him a 3 for Utland. I feel too generous. Next one is Uyusef Mat. Umat is too complacent. Umat was tired, and this is also down to Zwaneng zomnikeza na rating yakhe. Umat nje ngikhathele nami ngumdefend. He looks complacent. I said in the other video he's under delivering, but I feel like he's just comfortable for some reason. And I don't know who's posting on his Instagram or whoever is responsible for that. Maybe it's probably someone who manages his account, and maybe other players do the same. After losing, you can't just be going out on Instagram and posting because we are angry at you. I would disappear for a day or two, and then recover. Lento yokuthi team loses, it shows ukuthi these players know that there's no accountability and they just do whatever that they want to do because no one cares. Now uMathi he gets a 1. Futhi angazi na 1-1. Uyazidlisa phela uMathi bafethu. Umnikeza 1. And then next is uDoli. I mean Usthebe mina I saw someone saying Usthebe had a bad game. I don't think so. I didn't see Usthebe doing bad. He worked hard to a point yokuthi by the end of the game he was cramping, but he still fought on. But I never saw him being relaxed. I saw Umat being relaxed, wasting balls time and time again. Usthebe working hard to recover my ball at times, and then Mat just casually losing the balls. So Usthebe ngizomnikeza bafethu mina 5. Moving on. By the way, give me your own comments down in the comment section. Udoli is another player who had a better game yesterday, right? Better than the previous games. Not a good game, but in comparison to the previous matches and how he has performed, yesterday was his better performance. And for him, Uzwanege, then he keeps him on the field again, which we'll talk about Uzwane because he's the one who messed things up as well. Udoli from yesterday's game, I would give him a 4 because he wasn't like horrible. I saw him take on defenders and playing a pass right for him too, and then they were wasteful up front. So Wayne Udoli, I'll also give him a 5. Moving on to Umtu scores a goal, and then go watch my highlights as well. There is a chance that Umtu gets, as much as he's good and he's a young player, but you cannot start growing a mentality of being selfish at that age. There was a ball that he could have rolled to Sahil. He didn't. He chose to go for glory himself, and then he missed. And then Sahil was like, what? So Wayena, because he was giving defenders a hard time and all that stuff, he would have gotten an easy 9. But then because of missed chances like that, he downgrades to a 6 because, well, he was selfish and it cost us because you roll that ball to Sahil, it's a goal. All of a sudden, we've won the match. It's all the difference. Next one is Utupri. Utupri was absent in that game yesterday. Again, now we got a 3v1. He had 2 options. He had Umtu, he had Sahil. He didn't pass the ball. So he was absent. I didn't see many of his movements and it didn't help that much. That made me think, oh wow, he's playing well. So Kwayena, he gets a 4. No, 4 and he gets a 3. 3 because he was really bad. Cause I mean, 3. Shush, if not less. Cause ubengekho, yes, I'm reconsidering it. Angimbona uDupri in yesterday's game. 1. Changed my mind. Final mark 1. Usahil is being played out of position. I will say this again, but now once again, there was a time where you could have played the ball to him to. Notice how I've counted 3 goals that our players could have passed and instead they chose to go for themselves. On top of that, there was a chance that he earlier on in the game could have given it to Matt, he didn't. There was a chance that he could have given it to him too, he didn't. So he didn't have a good game, partly because Uzwane did not do him well. I don't even know what that means. But also he had things that he could have done better. He could have had an assist at the very least. So Gwayenu Sahil from yesterday's game, he gets a 4. Moving on to Unange. Unange, when he came on in midfield, was supposed to help us control the game. But it just went from bad to worse. So if you're a midfielder coming in to stabilize the midfield and then it doesn't work, who do you expect me to blame? Partly I'm going to blame you as well. And I didn't see him do anything, nothing. So Gwayenu Unange uzothola nje 2. Usehota akasinikanga lutho 0. Mashiane naye Nkosi yami came in, it did not have enough time, and I'm going to give him 2 solely because of the fact that he did not get the ball that much or had anything to do. He did lose the ball when he got it, and again it's the clumsiness because Mashiane just is clumsy. Caleb ube happy, honestly Zwana ube happy. Caleb grounding 0 sinikanga lutho. Because laba ngibanikeza o negative laba basidlisile, laba ngibanikeza u0 abangasinikeza lutho. Ukunike ngoba usidlisile clean. Uhlanti would have gotten a negative if it wasn't for the goal and the early pass. maybe I was too harsh on Koenig, but still -1 Uslisil because Wesley Savel, so -1. And am I saying was the worst player yesterday? Now I'm reconsidering this. But I'm going to leave it there and then go straight to the coach. I Uzwane Bafethu, like I will say this again. He's going to have a difficult time with Derby. We know with Derby form doesn't matter, but he has just put himself in a very difficult position. If fans start booing you, if you start being escorted by the cops out of the ground, we know what you are finished, and it's like looking like that for Uzwane. And I really hope, I wanted it to work for Uzwane, but it doesn't look like it will work. Because I love him, there's still that thing, Yoguti heart versus logic. Logic says it doesn't look like he will do it. But on one hand, it's like I can see the things that he's trying to do at times. It's just that Kwayena decision making yaki jigimshai. And in yesterday's game, did it. Imshai ngempele decision making. And he would have gotten like an 8, a 9, a 10. But then he undid all of that, which gives him a -2, because ultimately he's the one who cost us the game by making poor subs. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you live stream, and until that time, remember, equals Alpelu Moy.